Okay, today further with the side triangle. The idea is doing the side triangle from bottom position, specifically the entries to the side triangle. The first one we're doing is what I was just showing. It's essentially a Zumi Gaeshi sweep with the Kimura added onto it. I have given it the very creative name, the Kimura Gaeshi. I'm a genius. So, just to kind of see the mechanics. A problem a lot of people have when they're trying to do this is that they're trying to throw him with the Kimura. You're not doing that. Just from your side, when I was sweeping you, did you really feel a big lock here? You can speak.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not using the Kimura to throw him. I'm using the Kimura to trap him and pull his weight on my body so that I can sweep him with my legs. So the way this works is we're in the butterfly guard. I just basically grab his arm here and go into a Kimura. And he's okay to bring his arm in because I'm not trying to lock him. What I'm trying to do is pull his arm in here and pull his weight on my body. And from here, I've got him on my hooks. I can easily just throw him over. And now we go into our T-Kimura, which we saw in the last video. I can bring my leg over now, trap the arm, pull it in, straighten my legs. Yeah, I didn't even have to close and I already got the submission. So, and that's the main thing you want to keep in mind when you're doing this Kimura Gaeshi sweep, okay? Yes, you have the Kimura. If he lets you get the lock, then lock him with the Kimura, okay? I mean, no one's going to complain if you submit him with a Kimura. But your goal is to just use the Kimura to bring his body weight on you to sweep. Because most people, again, just from this side so that people can see the lock, most people, when they see this, they're not dumb, okay? They are not going to let me do this, okay? So they are immediately going to bring the arm in and probably grab it, yeah. And now I can forget the Kimura. But it's okay because I'm not using this to lock him, I'm using this as a lever to sweep. Bring it in, side triangle, hold the arm, and pull everything nice and tight, and choke. I did choking mechanics and escapes in the last video, so I'm not going to go through that here. Just look at my last video. I'll link the description below. But again, this is about how to get there. So having efficient choking mechanics doesn't help if you can't get to the choke. So this is about getting to your choke. Okay? So last time showing the sweep, just so everyone can see what I'm doing. Again, I've got my nice butterfly hooks. Everything's in here nice and tight. I'm not doing anything like this. This kind of gets in my way. So in here, grab my Kimura, pull him on top, and kick. And then T-Kimura, and finish as we've been doing in the whole series. Okay, that is the first entry that I like to show for the T-Kimura into the side triangle. The second one, it's kind of when the guy's a bit better and sees this one coming, and you can kind of build from the one into the other. So I call it the Spinaroonie. I don't know if it has a real name, and I freely admit it's a dumb name, but I spin around, so I didn't know what else to call it. So that's the next video we're going to do. Okay, second entry. This is, again, I just said, I call it the Spinaroonie. The idea what's going on here is my opponent's a bit smarter, and he knows that if I come here and I can pull him onto me, I'm going to sweep him. So he pulls my arm up. Now if I pull him, this is actually really hard now, because his hands are up, I'm almost locking my own shoulder. So from this position, I'm not going to do Azumi Gaeshi. It's really easy to tell when you're in this position, when you start feeling a bit of tension on your own shoulder, that's when you know, okay, the Azumi Gaeshi is not going to work because he's pulling his hand up. But because he's pulling his own hand up, one second, because he's pulling his own hand up, he's actually straightening himself up. Well, you don't have to straighten, just like that. Yeah? He's actually, and he's also pulling this arm in, which takes away his own post, and I can spin out and use that upward posture to bring him down. Back into our Kimura, and again, into the side triangle. So, showing that once again, like I said, this depends a little bit on his reaction. If he's not pulling his arm up and in and trying to brace his posture so that I can't bring him forward, it's not going to work because he's going to be too far forward. But then you could just go into the Azumi Gaeshi. So just to show that, if he doesn't go up and he comes into me instead, I'm not going to really be able to get this because, as you can see, he's just kind of blocking my path. But if he does that, then I got this. So it's kind of a double trouble situation. He can either go up and counter and bring me into the Spinaroonie, or he can counter the Spinaroonie, go forward, but then he gives me the Azumi Gaeshi. So I can kind of ping pong between the two. If he does the one, I do the other. If he does the other, I do the first one. So, now just to show the actual technique, again, I bring it in here and I wait for him to kind of, yeah, exactly. And when this happens, I bring this leg out. We'll do it from another angle so you can see. And from here, I spin around and I'm pushing this hand into his chest. That's what's bringing him down. So, and from here, you can just weave your leg in and in with the side triangle as before. So, yeah, from this angle, so that they can see what I'm doing with my legs. Okay? So again, same idea. You saw this on the other side, so I come in, and this is where he goes in, and you see he's got his arms really high. If I try to pull him in now, this is not going to work. So this leg comes out, as does this one, and I pendulum with the legs out, and now I push in with the hands. And that brings me into the Kimura. And from here, right into my side triangle. Okay, so those are the dynamics. I'll show that one more time from this angle just so everyone can see it on all three angles. And then, I think that's enough for the Spinaroonie. So, again, I come in, I get my Kimura, he breaks, I pendulum out, press his hands in, and now weave my leg in, and we have the side triangle. I mentioned in another video how I like to layer techniques. So what I would normally do is I would teach one of these two as a chain, and I would add on a side control escape, a sweep, and so forth and so on, and try to include as much repetition as possible. I'm not going to put that in the video because otherwise this video is going to be a half hour long. And I think you want to do something else with your Saturday, and I know he does. Or Sunday today. Today is Sunday. So he wants to do something else with a Sunday, and so do I, and I promised my wife I'd cook this evening. So I'm not going to show it, but just keep that in mind when you're working on these. Kind of look at it in a more holistic sense. So you would try to include an escape, a sweep, getting yourself into the butterfly position, and that would just be the end because that's where the submission comes. So obviously we had a sweep in there and we had a back take as well, basically. So, but just think maybe a side control escape, a background escape, something else you could add on when you're drilling these sorts of things to make your jiu-jitsu a bit more complete. Because I think working bad positions is something a lot of people in jiu-jitsu try to avoid, and I think it's something we really need to get better at. So that's all I wanted to do today. You can go shower and go home, and I can start cooking dinner for my wife. So, bye-bye.